All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema One from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And I want to go into a lesson touching on this push of confusion where man is overflow of this so-called uh new release of videos and information as far as life. you know there's more than us here, and there's aliens out there, you know but according to the scriptures, we're not going to be moved, we're not going to believe in those lies, because ultimately it's a spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah that's within us. All right, and with that we have how it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Wherein believing believing such things like this that has people nervous or confused, it doesn't work on the Lord's elect. Humbly saying that. All right. It also tells you in Isaiah 10 and 20 that we're no longer going to stay upon those that smote us, but we're going to stay upon the Lord in truth. Meaning we're not going to believe, on Esau's uh we're not going to believe on Esau. We're not going to believe on our oppressors. What they force us to what they force us to see, you know, anything. We're no longer going to believe in that because it's a lie. It's not going to be our support. It's not going to be for our um what does it say? That word sha'an, for stay. We're not going to trust in that. All right? Nor be troubled. All right? So I want to get a few clips from Instagram real quick, and it shouldn't be too long, but let me read this first. Matthew 24 and 21. It says, For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And this is a time of Jacob's trouble, wherein the world is going to be affected by it, but it's going to be, great perils, dangers like never before. Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. And it's going to be a time like never before. You can't look back in history and compare it, to anything. But it focuses on how dangerous it's going to be. Wherein the Lord is going to save his elect from those times. All right. Like I said, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So, verse 23, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Hamashiach, or there, believing not. Look, he's coming, the Savior. No, that's false. We understand clearly how the Lord is making his return. All right. Despite what people think, despite what people see, even see. Because, hey, the next verse says, for there shall rise false Hamashiachs, meaning false anointed ones. People who think you ought to listen to, people who you believe who have the answers. And this is the way to go. No, it says, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before, and it's not possible. Say, if it were possible, it's impossible to for the elect to be deceived. The scriptures tell you none can be plucked out of the Lord's hand. All right, they'll be raised in the last day, and it starts with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, but going into how a these signs and wonders are going to deceive a lot of people. And even if people don't believe in it, well, then what is the truth? Who has the true answers? Who can explain these things? And that's what I want to get into today, because we got the answers. All right. We understand this is, uh, matter of fact, let's just play these videos and I'm going to get a few precepts and that'll be it. Let me share this screen. 1 second.
have been investigating aliens for years. Their sources say dozens of crashed UFOs have been recovered, and what they found inside, shocking.
People who have been involved in recoveries have said
there are at least four separate types. Now, I have not had direct access to that, but I believe the people who I talked to.
Four different types of life.
Four different types of life.
Four different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the reptilians are scaly with long tails like a lizard. Insectoids look like a praying mantis. The Greys look like your classic movie alien, and the Nordics look like a regular Swedish guy, but 7 feet tall.
So you heard it for yourself. Let's go 1 Corinthians real quick. First Corinthians chapter 15, and let's jump into verse 39. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 39. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah. It reads, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. And there's no mixing. How they even push, they came down, and it's not in this video, but some shit I seen earlier. They come down and they actually sleep with humankind, and the reptilians are created. It's a bunch of nonsense, but according to the scriptures, this is how the Lord created these things, and nobody can change how the Lord made it. 39 again, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. So it ain't no mixing in these, what you see, these so-called whatever reptilian, Nordics, insectoid, whatever they just gave the starting 4 lineup, that doesn't line up with these scriptures. All right, there's no mixing and matching with that. Again, let me read this one more time. 1 Corinthians 15, 39 and 40. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies, the heavenly bodies, right? And bodies terrestrial here on the earth. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the celestial ain't attached to no green reptilian or no pale Nordic, that's not what it is. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. And as far as the celestial beings, we're talking about the holy angels, who they're trying to push on the people of, no, we don't know what it is. And it said they found over a dozen crashed, how to say, UFOs. That's not possible. The holy angels are inside, not the UFOs, not the UAPs, inside the chariots of Israel. Okay, that's the heavenly vehicles. Let me go real quick to Psalms. I'm gonna just stay right here. Psalm 68, because it tells us what are inside of these chariots, how they say UFOs, UAPs, that the chariots of Israel, just like Yahweh Shah left and departed whenever he was taken into heaven, it was by what people call a UFO. But in all actuality, it is a ship that the angels travel in, and that's what we're going to be operating in. Psalm 68. Right here. Psalm 68 and verse 17, it says, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. So angels operate these vehicles, and none have crashed. You know, that's nonsense. Don't believe in that. The angels aren't just here just to, just to be seen flying around. Hey, they're here sent, you know. They're here sent for specific reasons, and one of those reasons are to behold what goes on, where nobody is getting away with anything. Because what did the scriptures say in Sirach 23 and 19? Sirach 23 and 19, it says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. This is talking about the angels. The angels are the eyes of the Lord. All right. And they don't get distracted and crash. No, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Right. It says, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. Everything is recorded, everything is being documented. This is the duty of the holy angels. Another one, real quick, for our sakes, we understand the truth of these scriptures, which is comforting to us. Matthew 18 and 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father, which is in heaven. All right. So the angels are out here, you know, in action, doing things. Like it says, we even have angels to protect us. Just like the account in Second Kings, the second chapter, You know, it ain't no reptilians, it ain't no Nordic, it ain't no insectoid or a gray. It is the holy angels. Let's get this account. Second Kings, the sixth chapter. Second Kings chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 8 and read a little bit. So Second Kings chapter 6 and verse 8, it says, then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such a place shall be my camp. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, beware, thou, Salaki, it says, beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice. Therefore, the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing. And he called his servants and said unto them, will ye not, it says, will ye not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. So just tapping into the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh, when the king of Syria, would come up with plans and tactics to try to, war against Israel. But those secrets that he had in his bedchamber or in his secret place was revealed to Elisha. And Elisha would tell the king and they would make adjustments wherein it didn't work. Showing you how easy it is for the Lord to come through and change, you know, change what people think they got set and that's gonna work. We're talking about the Heavenly Father here, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, and this is the same power that we call on and that we acknowledge in these days. All right, Second Kings 6 and 13. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore he sent thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed about the city. So they pulled up looking for Elisha. Verse 15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, in host compassed Salakia, in host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So imagine you getting up and you're surrounded, outnumbered. Verse 16. And he answered, this is Elisha's answer. And he answered, fear not, For they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So what is he talking about? He says, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And the horses and chariots that Elisha prayed for his servant to be able to see, that's talking about the heavenly host. He literally seen the chariots of Israel in the sky. All right, not the horses and chariots of men. No, the heavenly host. Okay, this is what we're talking about, and we already read what are inside of these chariots in the book of Psalms, angels. All right, and they're not just here to crash. How Esau is trying to make people believe like chariots crash. No. What is that? Psalms 37. Psalms 34 and 7. How it tells you it's 34 and 7, not 37 and 4. Psalms 34 and 7. Just like during the time of what we just read, the account with Elisha, says the Psalms 34 and 7, the angel of the Lord Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. And that's exactly what happened with that account. All right. You don't see the Israelites, who believe in the testimony of Yahweh Shah are not going to be moved like, first and foremost, these heathen, and also the Israelites who have no faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah nor understanding. As what is that? Jeremiah 10 and 2, it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. That word dismayed in the Hebrew, H2865, chatath, chatath. And it says, by confusion and fear. So we don't have to be confused or guess or even entertain any of this BS. We 100% accurately and are confident in, what it is that we believe in, because it is the truth. All right. Wherein people don't have the answers. They don't know what to do, and wait until the Lord really starts showing these people some things. All right. Wait until people really start seeing where it ain't gonna be just like in the days of Egypt, whenever the Lord started doing things where the Egyptians couldn't lie to the people and be like, hey, this is what we do. No, it came to a point where it was undeniable that no, this is the God of Israel doing these things. All right. People want to entertain this simple nonsense, but just wait until the Lord starts showing you, what it is that we've been prophesying about, because it's gonna come to pass. It's coming. People are gonna be unstable though, and know not what to believe in. But the Lord told us these things. What is that? Second Thessalonians, the first chapter, 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us. All right. That word trouble goes into, it says to throng, to afflict, to press, suffer tribulation, distress. It says, it says, and to you who are troubled, rest with us. That word rest, G425, a loosening, relaxing, spoken of a more tolerable condition in captivity, to be held in less vigorous confinements, relief, rest from persecutions. And this is what this truth does to us, through the spirit, through the mind, where it don't weigh down like it does on the rest of the people who don't believe. It says, when the Lord Yahweh Shah shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, this is how the Lord is coming back. with the mighty angels, okay, not with these creatures that Esau is trying to push on the people. Hold on. Ah, man, where was it? Hold on. I just had this pulled up. Let me see how to do this. 1 second. I want to share.